It is Prick with a Fork, the sausage podcast. Welcome, I'm your host, Duncan, and once again on this episode, it's all things sausage related, but it's not just me waffling on or sampling snorkers or bangers. As you can see, we have a couple of first-class guests, the kind of guests you would expect, the caliber of which is top-notch, the kind of people you'd expect to see on Prick with a Fork. Now, we're very pleased to welcome to Prick with a Fork not only the sizzling sausage sorceress, and I don't know how many times I can say that without stumbling. So hello, Francesca, or Fran White, MD of Porky Whites. Welcome to Prick with a Fork, and alongside you, the one and only Mr. Sausage. Welcome both.
Hello. Nice to meet you. Thanks for having me.
Nice to meet you. Nice to see you. And one of the main reasons I wanted to get you on the podcast, apart from just talking about all things sausage related, the background to Porky Whites, because of course people will know the brand from the supermarkets. You have done something which I think is fantastic. It's, well, the kids call it, and I'm obviously not a kid, a collab. It's a collaboration with Plumpton College, which is based in East Sussex, and there's a great story behind it. So, Fran, do you just want to go through, Mr. Sausage, please leap in whenever you feel free. Oh, look at that. So these are the Plumpton sausages. Tell us the background to them.
So we've had a relationship with Plumpton going back a few years now in more of a sort of business supporting Plumpton and the butchery in specific. And we used to head up there for a butchery showcase evening when there were awards given out to various students and they were deciding best sausage. And we went on to support and, you know, show our face and chat to people. This relationship had gone on for a couple of 3 years. And every time we went, everybody loved our sausages. And we were like, well, what are you doing with your pork? Why are you not making more out of your own pork and, you know, beef and everything else that you're rearing yourself? Yeah. So it was really one conversation at an event one evening that has led us to 3 years on developing the Plumpton sausage. So that's how it all came about. And we'd always said, you know, you've got all this amazing pork. They're not taking back any of their meat and selling it themselves. We thought, wow, what a great way for them to, you know, generate a revenue, have their own brand and put their name to something really special.
Brilliant. And these are the pigs that have I got this right? The Lambert farm, is that where they're reared?
Yes, and subsequently, in all of this going on in the background, my daughter is an apprentice at Plumpton. She's due to finish her level 2 butchery in about 3 months' time. And just a quick word, because I'm very proud mum, she was actually awarded the Values Award at Plumpton, which is given to 35 students out of 2,000. So very proud mum of her. And she's certainly taken, you know, our family history and run with it. And it certainly does run in the family, yes.
Well, let's talk about this, Fran, in a second, but hats off to your daughter because it's great. So she's doing the butchery apprenticeship. Ultimately, then, she's going to follow in your footsteps, right? That's got to be the plan.
Well, I think for her passion is retail butchery, and that's where I started out my journey at 16. And, you know, running a sausage factory is very different to having customers in and out and getting to work with, you know, small farmers and, you know, having that real niche that you do and getting all the fun showcase butchery that you get to do. So for her, I don't know whether manufacturing would be her chosen career path, but she would always have a job here.
Yeah, and clearly it's in the blood. So let's talk about what's in the white or the Wyatt blood, because the company's been going since 1935.
That's correct. So historically, we had come from a farming background, and we were predominantly pork butchers in the 30s. And my grandfather and his brother used to raise pigs, slaughter, and then manufacture and process from one shop in Ewell. And from that, my father joined the business when he was a young boy. And we had one shop in Ewell that used to have a very big following, and we got very well known in the area. And it just grew and grew over the years. It got to the point where we couldn't continue manufacturing on the scale we were in Ewell, and we moved into South London for a period of time. And then 20 years ago, we moved into Woking in a new factory. Now we don't have any butchery at all. We are just processing. But yeah, the dream for me is to retire and get my daughter a butcher shop, and then I can go back to playing around in the butcher shop and doing all the nice things.
Yeah, well, let's talk a bit about you. How did you actually get interested in butchery in the first place?
So we grew up in the shop, you know, from a very, very young age, probably 4 or 5. My sister and I used to go to Smithfield Market and buy the pigs. And my dad, we used to go down in the Land Rover with Grandpa to go pick the pigs up. And on the way back, we would sit in the back of the truck with the dead pigs. And my dad used to tell us that we had to be quiet because they were sleeping. So that's how it started. Working in the shop, we used to hand tie sausages off the line. My grandpa would be running the sausage filler, and traditionally every sausage was hand tied back then. And we'd stand there on a box and hand tie sausages or serve in the shop. And our aspiration when we were younger was to get on the till and to serve people and take the money. That was the dream. But really, it's my blood. It's all I've ever done. It's all I've ever known.
Brilliant. Let me ask you a question. So my local butchers, there's one in Chichester called Penfolds, and it's been there for a long, long time. So, and there's a guy in there behind the counter called Anthony. He's like the top man there. And he's been, it's a family business. And when he was a kid, he was telling me the other day, he used to really not like Christmas because his dad used to put him to work doing all of the sausage orders, doing all of the links and stuff. And to this day, it's just like, it's almost like PTSD when it comes up to Christmas time,
Well, I pretty much have the same sentiment. I haven't had a Christmas off since I was 16 years old. Right. And I'm now 50. So I'll put it like that. When we start talking about Christmas, my heart sinks. But it is very different now. But back in the day, you would be working night and day. And I see like the Christmases, my daughter's had her 3rd Christmas now in butchery. Yeah. And, lots of back rubbing and you can do it and it'll be okay. Hang in there. You've only got 5 days left, 4 days left. It'll be okay. Because it is such hard work. But it is the time of year that, you make your trade and your money, and it gives you some security for the times when it's not so busy. But, and also, Christmas, you tend to pick up people that have never been in a butcher's because it's Christmas. And you're going to retain, some of that business throughout the year. But it is a dirty word. It's hard work and long hours.
Yeah. And I mean, fair play to your daughter and hats off to her for looking at going into retail butchery. I mean, people will stumble across this podcast in a variety of different ways. So there is someone who's thinking, university's not for me. I've always fancied getting into the world of butchery. What would you say to them?
I would say absolutely go and explore it and see what's out there. There are a lot of new generation of butchers coming through and some great mentors. We still have quite a lot of old butchers, but we really do need to attract some nice, some younger talent through. But it's such a wide variety of work. You learn so much. Every day is a learning day. And it's a wide scope. You don't always have to be a butcher from starting in a butcher shop. From that can be the start of many a great thing. Our food industry is huge. I'm a big advocate for it. And it's like our production here, we're very open. We do a lot of work with the wider community and with schools, and we bring in young students in to do speed networking and show them that although we're sausage manufacturers, we're not just that. And we're trying to let people know how big it is. So there's brilliant. And also apprenticeships now are so different. You can earn on your job, you're learning a skill, and, there are skills that you'll have for life.
It's brilliant to hear you talk in such a passionate way, because I was looking at your biog, and I know what it's like is sometimes, well, what do I put in a biog? But, the winner of the 2024 Woman in Meat Award is a big accolade. And, you're really oozing the passion.
I do. I love it. I live and breathe it, and I'm exceptionally passionate about our industry. Yeah. As women, we are still in a minority, and I'm a big advocate for women coming through and supporting and mentoring and anything I can do to keep women in, keep us in. We've just recently become partners with the Meat Business Women, which is a great platform, and we're really looking forward to getting involved in that. And I'm just generally passionate. We all need to eat, and we all want to eat good quality food. And it's an industry that is revolving constantly. It's like fashion. It's changing. People, what they're eating, what they're not eating, what they want. It goes in phases of, what's important and welfare. And, it's a constantly evolving industry. And there is so much that we have to keep up with, but it keeps your brain going constantly. It's not, people think making sausage is easy. It's not. There are lots of different nuances and things that can go wrong with, mixing meat and seasonings and crumbs and that. And we're all learning, and the new technology available to us and new ingredients, new functional ingredients, it goes on. So I don't think there's ever a day when I don't know something.
Brilliant. The Plumpton sausages, so our viewers and listeners, I mean, people can get hold of them, but they're going to have to go to East Sussex, right?
That's right. So at the moment, they're available in the One Garden. And they're in their store for them to go pick up there. Yes.
Brilliant. We're going to get into a bit of chat about the other Porky Whites varieties in a few moments. But Mr. Sausage, I need to get a few words from you because it's not every day I get to chat to Mr. Sausage.
I'm honoured.
Let's spread the sausage love, Mr. Sausage. What makes the perfect banger?
That's a big question, Duncan, to open up with. I think the first thing to say is there is a sausage for everyone, and it's not just one sausage to fit all uses. And I think it comes down to, what do you love, what evokes a memory, and how do you want to use your sausage? And take that any which way you want to. I mean, we do a whole range of different sausages for different uses in terms of the types of food you want to make. So thinking about a toad in the hole, you can go one of two ways. You can go really kind of light on the seasoning so that you can big up some of the other ingredients and flavors on your dish, or you can go a bit of a bigger powerhouse in terms of a farmhouse herb or an old English style to really lift the sausage out of that toad in the hole and make it the star of the show. But I mean, you can take the sausage meat out of the skins, or just buy plain sausage meat and craft your own thing, whether that's a pork burger, a pork meatball, or whether you want to include it as part of a meatloaf. You've got to look at the sausage as your vehicle for your dinner, and think of it as to where do you want your meal to go, and what do you want to create with that.
For our viewers and listeners who are kind enough to listen and watch this podcast, who might have seen Porky Whites on the shelves of their supermarkets and stuff, but some people might not be too familiar with the brand, who are the stockists? Where can people get hold of them?
Well, we're in all the major retailers. We're not in the discounting space. So Tesco, Sainsbury's, Asda, Waitrose, Morrison's, you'll find us. Yeah.
And also Ocado online as well.
Yes.
And if you want to, you can still buy direct from us. Just telephone or drop us an email and we can organise courier deliveries direct to you. That said, it is a bit challenging on the courier side, but we do our best to make sure they arrive in the best condition possible.
Right, let's go through some of the Porky Whites range. What can people buy in the supermarkets?
So we actually have about 14 different products that sit in retail, not in every single store. So you can buy our flagship one is our sorry sausage, which actually the recipe was originally developed by my grandfather.
Yeah.
It was what he liked to call spicy sausage, which was a sage base. And nothing other than the salt has changed in that recipe since the 1930s. Obviously, we had to remove MSG because it was suddenly everybody's enemy, but that's another conversation. But that is the real base of our sausage, and that's blended with honey and lemon.
Can I just say, and this is going to sound really dodgy, that was my gateway sausage to the Porky Whites brand. I first came across it in a farm shop in West Sussex, the Surrey sausage, and I thought, not seen those before, bought them, and it opened up my world to Porky Whites. So the Surrey sausage is like my gateway sausage drug to your brand.
Oh,
all right, so what are the other varieties?
So we sell chipolatas, we sell a farmhouse, which is a twist on we're actually trying to do a bit of a homage to the old school original butcher's style sausage, which was a very classic old English twist, which is our farmhouse sausage. We have burgers, which is a steak burger, which is seasonal in Tesco's. What else do we have?
We've got the traditional as well, which is kind of the lighter season one. So it's lighter in flavour, but very meaty as well. We've also got our Porky Whites range, which is 50% lower in fat variety compared to the likes of Surrey, which is based on a Cumberland flavouring, and also is very high in protein due to the lean cuts that we use as part of that. We've also got a traditional hog roast and hog roast and apple variant, which is also available in selected Tesco's. What else have we got? Meatballs.
Swedish style meatballs, which we sell in Ocado. So yeah, we have a nice range of products that we put through retail. I mean, we're not just retail though. That's been a big thing we've been driving, out there, that we do supply a food service and wholesale side to our business, and that sits separately, and that's where we see our future growth as well. And in that space, we work in the more butcher style traditional sausages, natural casings. We have different meat contents in that space. If you ask me what makes a perfect sausage, I would always say 80 82% meat. And it's a
Well,
blend.
you've been looking at my questions. I'm going to ask that in about 5 minutes' time to wrap up the podcast. But yeah, let's talk.
Yeah.
What is it about the pork content? Was it 82%? Is that your benchmark?
82%. That's right, because my grandfather always believed it was the right blend of your lean to fat ratio.
Yeah.
And he used to call it hands and bellies, and it's shoulders and belly of pork. And that was always the blend to get the right succulence. For me, I'm not a fan of a sausage that contains anything above 90% meat, because I think you might as well just have a pork chop. Because for me, it gets a lot leaner, and it gets a little bit, not leaner, but it gets a little bit drier. So I've always figured out that it's always about the succulence and the balance that the blend of the meats make. So our sausages contain belly of pork, and it contains either shoulder or a trim that's 80% lean and 20% fat. And that is the blend that we always use.
This is really interesting. So we do quite a lot of sausage sampling on this channel. There's a guy who joins me from time to time called Rosa, and we like a higher pork content, sometimes 95%. But you're absolutely right, and it's great to hear you say that, because I sometimes find myself going, yeah, this is a real chunky banger, but actually it can be dry, can't it? It can become too dry. And I'm not an expert, but I'm an enthusiast, and I make some sausages from time to time, and I know when I've got it wrong, when it is a bit dry. And this is an educational talk, Fran, because actually I put too much pork in. That's what I do. Yeah.
You need to have breadcrumb as well.
Yeah.
And your water and your seasoning. They're the components that make it up. But it's not just your pork, it's the blend you use. Because a belly is probably 50% fat and 50% lean. Yeah. And then if you go up to like a shoulder, it'd potentially be about 80% lean meat to 20% fat. And it's that mix that gives you the succulence in your sausage. And one of the big things, I'm going to get on a roll here, sorry.
Right, crack on, it's great.
It's, my biggest bugbear is the way people cook sausage, right?
Yeah.
We still make sausages the same way my grandfather did, right? We take our meat, we mince it, and then we mix it. And then it gets further processed and put into a casing, and then etc. Yeah. But people are putting everything into an air fryer. So you're taking a product out of the fridge, so it's chilled. Yeah. You're putting it in a little basket, and you're whacking it into the air fryer at 180 degrees, 15 minutes. And they are cooking the life out of the product.
It's a form of arson, right? Let's not muck around.
Torture.
It is arson.
And then that's it. And they come back and their skins have split or something's happened, and they're like, oh, the casings are rubbish, or they're chewy, or we can talk about casings in a minute, while we chose to move some of our business over to a collagen casing.
Yeah, we've got to have the casings chat in a second, because it can be a vexed issue.
It's a very emotive issue, which is casing. I'm very aware of that. But, people they treat their sausage really badly. So when I cook sausage, I put them in a frying pan with a little bit of oil, and I cook them really slowly, and I don't have a casing burst. I just really treat them well. But we live in a world where everything has to be quick. Yeah. And, you would never take an expensive piece of beef out the fridge, right? And then put it straight in the oven. You'd let it go to room temperature. Yeah. And then it's going to perform really well for you. Yeah. So there's a big education around cooking it. And we get, the only complaints we get is people have send you a photo. They've got this cremated sausage. We get in there for 20 minutes.
It's because it's arson. They set fire to it, effectively. Yeah, that's what they've done. Now let's continue. Let's continue to talk about the best way of cooking, because I don't do it in the frying pan, but I slow roast them in the oven. Yeah. I think that works. I mean, do you have so in the frying pan with a bit of oil, that is your preferred choice?
My personal choice, because
never frick it. Never frick the sausage.
Never. Well, that was because they used to be called bangers, and that goes back to the war where there was no control about what went in, and it tended to be a lot of the fattier, cheaper cuts that they were putting in. Yeah. And of course, when you've got your casing, it's holding everything in for you. It's like that's the thing that's holding it all together in the integrity of your sausage. And then if you put a fork in it and prick it, all your juices come out. Yeah. And then you'll go, oh, my sausage is really dry, or it's shrunk. And it's like, well, you put a hole in your sausage casing.
So let's just go through the. So we agree that in the frying pan, that's your preferred method. Yep. I stick them in the oven and effectively slow roast them. Air fryers, frankly, is the work of the devil. Right. Where do you stand on the grill?
Oh, we cook here a lot on a George Foreman grill. Yeah. So we have to validate everything we say about our cooking process. So we use big fan-assisted ovens. We have a grill. We do have an air fryer, don't we?
And I would say air fryers are the work of the devil. unless you manage your temperature and you're willing to check on your sausages and turn them. And that's the point, that whatever you do with your sausages, it's about patience and giving them the time and giving them your attention. That's the thing about it. Because I've got two small kids, and an air fryer is like a godsend for cooking on time constraints. But you can do sausages in an air fryer if you turn the temperature down and are willing to go back and forth just to check them and turn them, and they do turn out fine. It's just about that patience and attention to it.
Yeah. I'm fascinated by your use of the word emotive, Fran, when we talk about casings. So,
I just wanted to go back to another cooking method for you.
Go on then. Yeah.
So have you ever boiled your sausages before
No.
you've barbecued them?
Oh, yes, barbecue.
Or
Yeah.
you can do it with any time you have your sausages. So you can boil. All you do is bring a pan of water to boiling, drop your sausages in, and then you bring it to a simmer, and then they float to the top. Then they're cooked. So technically, you've cooked your sausage. Then you can, if you want to put them on the barbecue straight away, you can take them hot, but you can chill them instantly and put them in the fridge and cook them the next day.
Didn't know that. Great tip. Thank you.
Absolutely. I think it's
let's get emotional. Let's get emotional about the casings.
Yes.
Right. So Mr. Sausage here, he and I had an email exchange a while ago because we sampled some of your fabulous Porky Whites, and we were like, oh, I'm not sure about these casings or this collagen going on. And Mr. Sausage rightly went into bat and said, you know, there's some reasoning behind this. So let's have the casing, the skin conversation. What do our viewers and podcast listeners need to know about Porky White casings?
So in retail, we sit with a pork collagen casing on our sausage. That's not driven by price, but it's more driven by being more, I've lost the word now, Paul. What's the word?
Consistent.
Consistent, yeah. And also being, not overcooking them or damaging them when cooking, because the only complaints we ever got about our sausage was the casing was tough. The day we removed the natural casing and went to collagen, we probably had a handful of people say, why have you done that? And we do not get any complaints about our casing. Collagen has been around for years and years and years and years. It's not new technology. It's not unnatural. It's a natural ingredient that comes from the pig or your beef collagen, whatever you want to use. So it is a natural product. We're not putting anything synthetic on the product, but it's natural. It's not a price-driven thing either. It's, pork collagen is just as expensive as a natural hog casing.
Right.
But I do love hog casings, and half of our business runs off a natural pork a hog casing or a sheep casing. But it was really a decision made to eradicate complaints, also consistency in cooking, and also uniformity, and also speed.
Yeah, of course. So I'm going to say something that you can't say, and you might want to nod or you might not want to nod. But basically, if you're kicking off about collagen casing, you probably need to make sure you can cook sausages better, because if you could, people would naturally, you'd be providing the natural hog casings or whatever, but you had complaints from people who are just going, oh no, it's not working. I've split my casing, blah, 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 blah. So you decided to go down the route of collagen. Is that right?
Well, that wasn't the only reason, but I think, we were really, during COVID, it gave us an opportunity to move our business into a fully automated business. So historically, we packed all of our sausage by hand. Every single sausage was packed by a person into a tray of 6. During COVID, we were able to take advantage of the COVID loans that they were given out by the government, which ordinarily we would never have had access to that kind of funding, which enabled us to buy a machine that we could then pack without any hands touching, which revolutionised our packaging and our efficiencies. Whilst it's absolutely great to pack a natural casing into a tray through an automated machine, it does work better with a collagen casing. Every single sausage is exactly the same size. When you have a natural casing, for example, it's from an animal. Every animal varies. No pig's fat ratio is the same. Not every meat is as tender. It will all vary. And with the natural casing, your gut varies. So you can have guts at this diameter. You can get guts with a lot of holes in. So when you're running out your casings, your downtime can be huge because you're constantly changing your casing because you may have some that are damaged. things like furs appear on the outside, which is in line with the gut.
Yeah.
So when the sausage runs out, it can appear that it looks like it's got almost like a white fishnet over it.
Yes.
So visually is unappealing as well.
Yeah.
You've
explained it. You've explained it brilliantly, and thank you. You've been really candid as well, and that's really appreciated. Let's wrap up this episode talking. We've already spread the sausage love, but let's talk about, from your perspective as the sizzling sausage sorceress and Mr. Sausage, right? And it's like working in a sweet shop. Do you ever get fed up? If you work in a sweet shop, do you ever get fed up with sweets? You work effectively in a sausage factory. You're coming up with new sausages. You're coming up with new varieties and stuff. Presumably, you still enjoy a banger when you get home, right?
I enjoy climate every day. That's a ridiculous question.
Right.
We eat sausage every single day here.
I haven't asked the question yet, and this is the question. The question is this: I want from both of you your definitive sausage-based meal, or the best way to have a sausage. So, for example, you're having a banger a day, maybe because you have to sample or whatever. But it's a Saturday evening. You're thinking, I fancy some sausages. What are you going to do with them?
Right, for me, all day long, it's a sorry chipolata. And I want to dip that sorry chipolata in some melted camembert.
Oh my God, that is filthy.
It's disgusting, but it's so good. Actually, I got this craving. It was ridiculous. I went out to Tesco's at 10 o'clock at night, bought my own chipolatas.
I've got to ask this question. You're the managing director of Porky Whites. You don't have a stack of your own sausage. Maybe some in the freezer, but not...
Exactly. I'm like a builder. The house is always a mess and it needs work. I actually do buy my sausages in the supermarket if I haven't got them, because it would absolutely destroy me not to have them with like roast chicken on a Sunday, or with pork, or my stuffing. So I bought my chipolatas. I wrapped them in bacon, and then I did melting brie, and I dunked that beautiful little pigs in blanket in my cheese.
That is just perfect. I'm going to make sure that more people are aware of that.
Well, sausage rolls are a good one, Paul, with the amount of sausage rolls we've been playing with.
I mean, mine's twofold. It depends if I've got the kids with me or not. And I've got two young kids. One's 3, one's 7. So they're quite particular about what they will and won't eat. So if we've got the kids for dinner, then sausage pasta all day long. It's amazing how far even 4 sausages goes with kids and a sausage pasta. If it's just me and my other half, my wife makes an incredible sausage cassoulet. With butter beans and slow cooked over about 7 hours in a slow cooker. Either with our wholesale Cumberland.
Yeah, that's a great one.
Which is a great one. Yeah. Or even just the Surreys that have been slow cooked over quite a few hours, just with some crusty bread. And it's just, I do a little fist pump every time she tells me we're making that, and it brings a smile to my face.
Well, with our wholesale range, you get a larger sausage as well, don't you? Because we were all forced into this shrinkflation, years ago, where the pack was a 454 gram. And then, the way the world goes and the cost and the pressure from the retailers, we all conformed eventually. We were the last ever brand to go to 400.
Really?
Wow. But all of our wholesale work that goes into butcher shops, pubs, catering butchers, food service customers as well are traditionally on a 76 gram, nice proper sausage. Yes.
Nice. Before I let you guys go, and thank you for this, it's been fantastic to chat to you both and make this work for our podcast. 2026, what does that look like for Porky Whites? What's in the pipeline?
We've always got a lot going on here. It is a brand, we are really forging forward with our food service and hotel offering as well. We've been doing a lot of work in the new clean declaration space, which is now removing sulfites from our products. Big conversation around that in industry. We're launching a new brand into Tesco's in convenience, so watch out for that. It's really exciting. It's a grab and go concept, and that will also be in a red tractor. Sadly, Duncan, it will be in a collagen casing, but it will be no sulfites in it either as well, so that's exciting. And we've got lots of just general things going on, lots of grassroots, lots of sponsorship with local football teams, still working with all our local charities.
I think for us, it's about building our foundations locally, making sure we're known, making sure people know who we are, what we do, why we do it, and probably more of this costume. I've worn it so many times now. I was out at an event this morning and I wore the costume. I was out at another event for a local chamber of commerce, introducing Porky Whites in this costume with these sunglasses. So it's a life on the road at the moment for me.
Well, I've got to say, you rock the look, you know.
Oh,
So, I mean,
This is a conversation over many a Sunday dinner is Paul's outfit, and that we need to upgrade it now.
Yeah.
So if any of your listeners can make us a new sausage costume, we'd be really grateful.
I mean,
I think
like,
it's
we
fantastic.
were talking this morning at this event about maybe getting some kind of LED integrated,
Massive.
programmable LEDs as part of the costume.
We're
So,
saying you silly sausage.
yeah, exactly, that kind of thing.
I've got in the back of my mind, I'm just wondering if Mr. Sausage should be driving a sausage car. I've got in the back of my mind, and I don't know what it was. I want to say, was it Wacky Races? I can't remember. But it was like a hot dog roll with a sausage on wheels. Do you remember that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think I do. I've got
Yeah,
the
maybe that's the answer.
Let's watch this space. Nothing is off the table.
Okay, well, listen, let me just do a bit of housekeeping before we say goodbye. This podcast, Prick with a Fork, is available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify and YouTube. Please rate, review, share, subscribe, and spread the sausage love. Fran and Paul, absolute honour to talk to you. It's been great. Keep up the good work. And, I think a British business, a local business, I mean, in the south of England, and clearly the stuff you're doing with local charities and community groups as well as making some first-class bangers, really is the icing on the cake. So thank you for joining us on Prick with a Fork.
Thank you.